Hey, so wanted to make a video about the value of doing a survey at the time somebody subscribes. So this come up a bunch recently on Twitter, people asking questions about this. I will say I did not do this well at all, and I'm doing it okay now with my Austin-based newsletters. But as usual with life, I'm learning, didn't do it right at first, figure things out, learn, and then launch again and get it right off the bat. And so that's what's basically happened. My partner slash newsletter as a service, all the things, all the mistakes I made on my Austin newsletters, we figured out and did it right for, it's in Henderson, Nevada, and we're crushing it there, especially on surveys. So wanted to talk about this a little bit, show you how it works, and hopefully make this easy for you to do for your own local newsletter. So number one, why do it? Well, data is valuable, and having a ton of data about your readers is extremely valuable in many different ways. Number one and most primary is for advertisers. It's funny that the reason I'm making this video is because as somebody brought this up asking me for more information about this in the newsletter community on Twitter, I got an email response from a cold email I sent asking, tell us about your subscriber data and your demographics of your readers. So because I have this set up, like, great, that's a great question. I'm excited to give it to you. Where if she had asked this when we first started and I would have said, I have no idea, and that probably would have been a no-go for them. So I still haven't heard back. This was only a couple hours ago, but it's cool to know that, yes, not only do I have an answer to that question, I have a great answer because where I am at least, and in Henderson, our readers are, high value readers for most businesses. So that's why you should do it. Knowing what your readers are like, what type of people they are, it helps you come up with the kind of content you want to provide. One of the questions we ask is about what do you care most about, which is spoiler, it's always events. But I think they still care about everything else. It's just events is what they care about the most. They still want all the other stuff that we provide as well. So you want to have that information. You want to be able to get it from people and know for a fact instead of assuming. And so the best way to do that is to have a survey. Now, when it comes to how to do the survey. So maybe you say, okay, TJ, you sold me on having a survey. Well, how do I do it? There are multiple ways to do it. And I think what we found is by far the best way, but I know people do different ways. So what we do is when you land on our subscribe page where we ask for your email and you type in your email, they hit subscribe, then immediately the website turns over, changes to the survey page. It is a part of Beehive's website, and it just immediately goes to that page and it says, hey, thanks for subscribing. Hey, we'd love to know, a little bit about you. Boom. And then it asks 11 questions. There's a reason that we have 87% of people filling this thing out, which I'm shocked it's that high. It's incredible. But it's because it's just like, hey, I'm excited. I saw an ad for this on Facebook or somebody shared it with me. And then I gave my email and then it's asking me some information. And the first question we ask is about where they live. So like feeling that local vibe, like which town they live in that we're covering. And then we get into the data questions. And most people, in some ways, it may just feel like they have to do it, even though, of course, they don't. They could just close out of the page once they give us their email. It feels like they have to do it. So that's why people just do it. It's not a big deal to tell you, are they male or female? How much money do they make? Do they own their own house, etc. I'll show you here in a second. So that's, I think, the best way to do it. Now, I think the downsides to that are, somebody mentioned in one of my groups that you can only do that if that's the page you're sending them to. I think somebody said, I don't know if they're already doing it or they want to, and I want to do this too, so this may be a problem in the future, but is sending them to a page with a specific offer. Like, hey, you just signed up for our newsletter. We really appreciate it. Because you just signed up for the next 30 minutes, you can get half off of blank if you buy this. I don't know, something like this. And so you can't send them to that page and a survey. So that may be one of the downsides of my model. But again, you could still do it in the welcome email, which I'll get into in a second. So anyway, I just think this is clearly the best way to do it. Now, the way that other people are doing it, and probably the more common way today, is having in the welcome email, having something at the top that says, hey, thanks for subscribing. And we'd love to learn more about you so we could tailor content to you, etc. Click here to go to the survey. And again, that works. That's probably a good thing to do, but almost 100% certain they're not getting 87% of people to do that, right? You might get 10%, honestly, probably less than that. So you can do that, and that's easy to just add that button into your welcome email, but I just think your take rate is going to be much, much lower. So those are the two main ways to get, and then of course you could put a survey into just like your actual newsletter, like, hey, this week, hey, we'd love for you to fill us out. By the way, we did this because again, I wasn't doing the survey at first for Facebook ad reasons we just didn't know what we were doing. So at that time, I did put in a survey functionality in there. And I even, like, the entire top of the newsletter, what we call the editorial, was like, hey, our only ask, please, please, please fill out the survey. Like, it was super clear. If you were reading our email, you knew how important it was to us to fill out the survey. And like out of, I don't know, at the time, 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers, we got like 50 or 100 to do it, something like that. So you're just not going to get a super high take rate if they don't feel like they have to do it, right? Which is what my model is the best way. So I'm going to show you how this works. Here, let's do that. All right, get my share screen here. Okay, so here's how you do this in Beehive. So you are going to go to, geez, I have to remember here. Okay, surveys. So under audience, you go to surveys, and then here's our survey. So you would just create one, but I'll show you our. Okay, so now we're on the summary page. So you can see here we have, 87% people filling this thing out. And this is where you get the summary of the data that people are sharing. What do they care most about? Local events. What city do they live in? Are they male or female? What age group they're in? Do you have kids living at home? Do you own or rent? Are you a business owner? This is a killer question. I don't have this on mine. Unfortunately, in Beehive, you cannot change a survey after you make it. So we obviously should just redo ours, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. So we're not asking this question. But again, in this one, we are, which is a great question to ask because you can segment these people who answered yes to this question and then send them a specific email about, hey, we hope you're loving this newsletter. I know you're a business owner. Would you be interested in advertising or coming on my local podcast? Whatever. That's killer. And then household income. And then we put here, we have some typing questions because sometimes people like to do that. Just, what's your favorite restaurant? They can type it in. So this is where you do that. And then the form builder, this is what it looks like on how you do this. It's not rocket science. Take a few minutes to figure it out. But like any of these, what do you call these automation kind of things that it looks like, Zapier or whatever. So this is how you build it. It's relatively straightforward. Just play with it and figure it out. So let me see if I can find our survey. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. So here's what the survey looks like. Okay. So here's our survey. Thanks for subscribing. We're so glad to have you on board. We'd appreciate you fill this out, blah, blah, blah. Not super crazy important. And then here's what it looks like for the user, right? Just clicks. I think these are all single clicks. Yep, they are. And then we have 2 about custom, where they can put in whatever they want. And then we have how'd you find us, which we pretty much know. Well, he's actually doing a lot of networking and sharing this, but generally it's mostly Facebook and Instagram because we're doing a lot of ads there. So that's basically the survey. So again, I don't want to subscribe, and well, I guess I could, but I don't want to. So this is what happens. So when somebody goes to your sign up page and you click subscribe, it just takes them immediately to this page. It's that simple. That's literally the entire process. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I think that's basically it. If you have questions or want me to dig in more on something about these surveys that we're doing, let me know. But at this point, I think hopefully that's a good overview about surveys, why you should do it, how to do it. Again, like everything in this newsletter space, it's simple, but it's not easy. Bunch of steps, lots of little things to figure out, but you can figure out every step. Just give it a shot, and you'll trial and error, watch a video, or email me, and I'll help you if it's easy. Or anyway, all right. Well, let me know if you need help. All right, thanks.